Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? All you happy hashers out there. I see we got Jason the Tiger Osborne. We got Crypto Fidel in the house. What's going on? Sorry that I haven't done any videos for a little while. Been freaking sick as all get out. Not COVID or anything like that, but definitely like sinus, chest cold, freaking ear infection. I'm still kind of messed up. They gave me some antibiotics that I got today. It's been like since last weekend. That's why I didn't see a video for me last weekend. And I've been home. Kind of got a little bit of energy today. So I'm hoping that the antibiotic is kind of kicking in and I'm starting to kind of come back to normal a little bit here. But I have my doubts. So we'll see how I am in the morning tomorrow, all that good stuff, right? So what's going on? Wheeling Crypto. He's like, I am here. Yes, you are. And while you guys are here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. You know what YouTube likes. YouTube likes the interactions. It's like, I love this $50,000 Bitcoin. You know it, my dude. You absolutely know it. This is the stuff to where I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, man, this is why I'm in Bitcoin. Because you can go from, man, I don't know, to, oh, that's like not how I was expecting it to open up, but let's see here. We're going to do this. Wham. Yeah, I like that. Bam. And then you get up on days like this and you're like, wow, a $51,000 Bitcoin. Holy cow. Or is this bull run again? We've had our golden cross. We are on a tear, guys. I mean, if you really think about it, we've really been on a bull run territory since October 15th last year. I mean, it's pretty much been up. It came up, had a cool down, goes up for another leg. This is what I call a healthy growth. You don't want it to just go top floor penthouse, please, because you get up to the penthouse in one swoop, you know it's going to come toppling down very quickly. So the more times we can stair step on the way up, the better off we are. What up, Automatic Boots? Like, I need you to fix a Mobo you have, huh? Well, I mean, I can inspect it and see if it's fixable. I mean, I do have all the equipment for it, but yeah, we'll see if it's fixable. Bitcoin needs to go higher. I need to buy more mining equipment. Truth. Truth, brother. Truth. We need Bitcoin Moon. Bitcoin Moon. Bitcoin Lambo Moon. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So, I mean, Bitcoin's doing great overall. Let's see here. The rest of the market overall doing, I mean, if Bitcoin's going to go up, you damn well straight everything else is going up. So if you would have tossed just a little bit into pretty much any poop coin out there, your position would be up. I mean, I said almost any. You know, you could have bought Monero and you'd still be down. But you know, anything, most of the stuff in the market is up. You know, you're not going to see too much better market plays than this. So, you know, it's like, is it going to roll over from here? Hard to say. I mean, we could leg up from here to 65,000 in a blink of an eye. You know, Bitcoin will just keep doing Bitcoin things. Do you think that Bitcoin's going to go dropping down right from here? I don't think so. You can't have all this institutional buy-in and not have the price move. This is just a cold hard fact. So with all the institutions getting involved with it, it was just a lagging indicator for price. That's all it was. All these people are going, U.S. is going to be printing endless amount of money to fund an endless war. Most other countries are continuing the same practices. So you're going to find that people are going to try to drop themselves into assets that they think are going to either hold the value better or have way better upside potentials. Most people are going to flock to things that have a good upside potential. Bitcoin is one of them. Everybody knows that even at a $51,000 Bitcoin, that's still very cheap, and in my opinion, still a discount. Not that I got $51,000 laying around to be able to buy a whole coin. So basically, at this point, being a whole coiner is going to be next to impossible unless you sit there and you dollar cost average $51,000 worth of value into Bitcoin. Right? I mean, think about it. Most people will never be able to afford a $51,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now out of the price of a lot of plebs. A lot of them. I mean, I know I don't, like I said, I don't have 51,000 laying around to be able to buy one. Hell no. So you're going to find that from this point, you're going to find that a lot of people are going to start looking at these poop coins and going, well, I mean, I don't have $51,785 to buy a whole Bitcoin, but I have $117, $120 to buy a Solana. I've got, let's see here. I'm trying, Litecoin. I got $70 for a Litecoin. Sure, I can dollar cost average in that. Awesome. Let's see here. It's like you can just kind of go down the list. Monero. I've got $127 to be able to do that. So you're gonna be looking at these lower cap coins, and once Bitcoin is out of the price of most people, that's when you see the altcoin swing, guys. So people are gonna get all excited about Bitcoin, and it's gonna get them to look at altcoins. So this is basically gonna be, a good little mini bull run. I see good potentials with the way that the market is staging up right now. As long as Bitcoin keeps trending upward, over the last 24 hours, we're almost 5% up. Over the last 7 days, we're a little over 17% up. So we're going to be looking at, a pretty good rally at this point. What does this mean for all of us miners? It means everything that we've mined up until this point is up in its position right now. And as a miner, you also got to realize that once the price goes up, more people get excited. They turn their rigs on, and you'll actually watch your yield go down. Your dollar amount might stay the same, but your yield goes down. So pay attention to your yield, boys, because with a bull run comes all the bull market miners, as I like to call them. You've got our bull market friends, we got our bull market miners, and this is going to be bull market season. How long is it going to last? That much, nobody's going to be able to tell you. It can easily roll over from here, drop $10,000 right off the price of Bitcoin. Very easy. Not out of the realm of possibilities. I think that the BIOS chip had a blowout on the TB360 Pro 2.0. Give me a picture of that BIOS chip, and if it's one that needs to be reballed, I won't be able to play with it because I don't have anything to do. I don't have the die sets to do the reballing. Anyone that thinks in terms of buying a whole coin based on the price is what I call dumb money. Well, not really, not really. I'll half agree with your statement, Chuck. I'll half agree with it. It's not that I think of a whole coin in the terms of dumb money. I look at the price of Bitcoin in a common measuring stick that most people are more aware of. I think would be a better way of looking at it. Because dollars are supposed to be a representation of our of the energy that we as humans are trying to save up through our work, right? We do work, we have proof of work, we get paid, we try to store that energy. That purchasing power is our energy. So we try to preserve our purchasing power the best we can. Unfortunately, governments get involved with that and fuck it all up. So unfortunately, we have a very crappy measuring stick that, an inch turns into an inch and a quarter, an inch and 3/8 over time, so an inch is no longer an inch. But at the same time, it's realistically the only measuring stick we really have. Because when you think about it, you got a bill. What do you think of your bill as in your local currency? Because you're not going to want to sit there and think, you're not going to think, oh man, that's 40,000 Satoshis. No, you're going to be like, that's $100 worth, $100 payment bill that I got to do, because I don't even, hold on here. Let's see here. Point. Hold on here. Yeah, I mean, you're not even talking about that much. Like, what is it? $100? Oh, all right, let's do it this way. $100 worth of Bitcoin. Are you going to think of it as, let's see here, 190,000 Satoshis? No. We're going to think of it as $100. I know exactly, Chuck. Exactly. That's exactly what I was explaining. I'm like, people are gonna look at going, oh man, I got $100 worth of Bitcoin. I can get like 0.00000000001, or I can take this $10 and get a bazillion of this coin. Oh, I want a bazillion, because if that bazillion goes to the moon, I'll never have to work again. Oh my god, this is my lottery ticket. Unfortunately, that's whenever the gambling addiction kicks into your little brain and goes, oh my god, I'm Lambo. Dumb money. I know exactly. That's I don't even really look at it as dumb money. I look at it as it's, how can I put it? I would say it's an ill-informed person with the right intention. So that ill-informed person was told, you need to start investing if you want wealth. Person's like, where do I invest? The other person's like, I'm invested into Bitcoin. So they start looking up Bitcoin, takes them down the rabbit hole of crypto, and they're like, oh man, I missed the boat on Bitcoin, but here's a penny stock. In traditional markets, you got penny stocks. That's the same thing as shit coins. So penny stocks, 99% of them are going to fail. Guaranteed. Within 2 years. What's the shitcoin market do? Penny stocks. Guaranteed to fail 99% in 2 years. Penny stocks. So I look at most of this stuff, it's just ill-informed people going down the rabbit hole without any guidance. It's like, we're not taught this stuff in school, people. Think about it. How many people, my brothers didn't even know how to write a check coming out of high school. I did, but my brothers don't. What's the difference? 10 and 13 years. That's the difference between me and my younger brothers. So 10, 13 years later, they're not even teaching you how to balance a checkbook, how to write a check. Hell, they're not even teaching you how to write cursive. You want to sit there and really mess with the new age kids? Just write a note in cursive. They'll never be able to read it. I'm serious. It's like they are trying to produce workers out of schools, not critical thinkers. They want workers, busy worker bees. That's all they are to you. So they teach you just enough to do your job, but not enough to question why. So with that being stated, they don't teach you about investing. Even if you take an investing class, they barely teach you what you need to know. They teach you Keynesian economics, which is a failed system. That we live in Keynesian economics. It's a failed product. We just need a free, open market, not a manipulated one. Oh, yeah, I know the road to hell was paved with good intentions. We all know that one. It's like, oh my God, cursive. My 8-year-old told me I need to work on my writing because he couldn't read it. Yeah, exactly. Cursive, dude. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. So it's like, that's some of the reasons why I do some of the shows that I do, is that I'm hoping that some rando person with good intentions stumbles upon my video and goes, oh my God, I understand what he's saying, that Bitcoin, gold, and silver are the only things that you need to worry about. Everything else is static noise. It's market noise. It's to rob you from your economic value. And what are they buying with it? Gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Why not just cut the chase and be like, bite the bullet and be like, oh man, I can only afford this much in Bitcoin, and just stack sats and hodl. And I tell people, you buy Bitcoin at the price that you're supposed to buy it at. I know it sounds cold, but when you finally get it, you'll start accumulating Bitcoin at the price that you deserve. It's like I've been accumulating since 2018. You get in at the price point that you deserve. Unfortunately, there's going to be a point in time where that price point's going to be $100,000, $200,000. Is it going to happen in the next 10 years? Who hell knows? I don't know. 100%, Chuck. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bizzity Bitcoin. Doesn't matter how you get there, just do it. It's like, what if you bought? You can dollar cost average in a specific amount of Satoshis every paycheck, no matter what, like clockworks. And in a 5-year period, you can have a whole coin. Even to this day. It'll take you a little bit, but you buy the same amount of Satoshis, you will get there. Do the math. 10,000 Satoshi, or 10 million Satoshis divided by 5 years, you're going to be, right around that 10,000 Satoshis per week. It's like 1 nemesis equals knowledge, and knowledge is power. And I want to empower you guys to make the best decisions for yourself. Oh yeah. So, enough with the finances a little bit here. Let's talk a little bit about some hardware and some price drops. Yo, we got some deals. You know it. We got some deals, fellas. So we have the RTX 4070 Super from Zotac going for $589. Now, I still think that's a little high. I think that should be like a $400 GPU, even if it's new. But I believe that it's a $400 GPU. It screams $400 worth of value to me. But if I was like, hey, I need to upgrade, I'd like to get something that's decent. Hiccup. I want to get something that's decent. I might actually look at getting one of these. I might not do the Zotac one, but in a 70 class, you're not talking about a gigantic heat load on these. But Zotac has given, over the last couple of generations, some subpar cooling, in my opinion. Now, if they have fixed the cooling issues on these things, all right, cool, I'll give them another shot. But that's one thing I'm not really a fan of, is Zotac just making a really thin cooler, and then they started using a shroud to cover the cooler up and not allowing it to ventilate out. It's like, are you guys stupid? And it kind of looks like they did that here too. It's like whenever you're looking at the card, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of room for the cooling fins to breathe out of. It's like, come on, Zotac. I know you know better than this. If you are going to be sitting there and putting a shroud that almost goes down to the PCB, take your VIN stack orientation and flip it 90 degrees, let it go from front to back on there, so that when the fans blow air into the cooler, it's actually got an escape route. That it's like they're trying to make it look neat and tidy. I get it, you know. They're going down the road that the XFX cards go down, with them covering every bit of the cooler so that it thermal throttles and you don't get all your performance on it. And that's probably why Zotac specifically is starting to drop their prices, because people are like, oh, I don't want that. That thing's going to overheat. So now they're trying to entice you to buy it. So kind of be careful with cards. Do your research on them. Make sure they don't overheat on you. We want good open airflows for your cooling stacks. This way you have full performance. The last thing we want to do is start mining with this thing and you have runaway temps, right? I mean, let's be real about it. Let's be real. So, I mean, let's hope that, you know, we're starting to see some 70 classes come down in price. It's only $10, but it's only been a month. So as more and more people are not buying GPUs, NVIDIA's going to have to drop their prices. This is going to be a fact. They will not be able to just continue to pump out cards and people wanting to buy. There's a point where they're going to saturate the market, and nobody's going to be looking for a GPU, because all those that were in the market for GPUs, by now, most of them have already bought one. It's hard to get the vast majority of the market to go, I need an upgrade. It wasn't until second generation of RTX cores on NVIDIA side that we saw everybody going, oh, I need to upgrade my GPU. There was finally a feature on there that said, maybe the 10 series GPU I can finally put to bed and get into a new class. Most people, most consumers will wait anywhere from 2 to about 5 generations before they start upgrading. That's usually your window where most of your PC gamers are going to be targeting to upgrade. You know, there's people that are still running on 1060s to this day. 1060 is still a great gaming GPU. And we're 1, 2, 3, 4 generations, and it's still a relevant card? Because we have the 16 series, the 20 series, 30 series, and 40 series. I mean, you can't consider the 16 series in the 10 series if you really wanted to, and then you got 3 generations. So if you want to count it as 3 generations, and you want to count the 1660s being the big brother to the 1070, I'll give you that argument. That's a valid argument, valid point. You get a good amount of performance, but you got better VRAM in there. But I'll allow that argument to come into play. And so we got 3 generations. Like I said, most people are going to be in the market for buying a GPU between 2 and 5. So we got another 2 generations before the 1060 is more than likely going to be end of life, guys. There's going to be a point where they're not even going to upgrade the drivers for it. So, I mean, it will get sunsetted at some point, just not at this point. So again, you know, you could say we're at between 3 and 4 generations past the 1060s. So once we get the 50 and the 60 series GPUs, the 10 series will be a thing of the past. A thing of the past. Especially by the time that we get to the 60 series. That's going to be a few years down the road. Now, does it mean that you can't game with them or anything like that? No. It's just that it's not going to be brand new hardware. Let's put it this way. I gamed on a GTX 550 Ti for like, I don't know, about 10 years. at a certain point, I was just noticing that I had to turn down features off of the game, and my game would run fine. I'd be like, oh, look, I got all the frame rate back. Look at that. It's playable. It was into a point where the game titles that I like to play, I couldn't get more than 60 frames per second, no matter what I did. That's when I was like, you know what? I think I might need an upgrade, right? And that's most people. I mean, who wants to sit there and spend another... You bought the GPU. You spent between... I mean, I spent, for my 550 Ti, I spent $200 on it. Do I want to spend another two? No, it's not going to be two. Three? Oh, no. $400. So do I want to double what I paid originally just to have a little bit better graphics? It's a hard sell sometimes. Until you get to a point where my $200 GPU that's worth $20 right now can't play 90% of the games that I enjoy. That's when you start motivating people to buy. And that's when you'll see another influx wave of new GPU GPU buyers. So NVIDIA is going to have to continuously drop their prices down in order to make their GPUs relevant. These are facts. You have to in order to make people buy, you're gonna take $10 off here, $100 off there. Add this into a promotional bundle because you're trying to entice people there until they go, ooh, that's actually a good value for me. And then they start getting a few sales, they'll let it ride out, and then, oh, it's not selling anymore. They drop the price, give another little bundle with it. And you'll see that kind of coming on the way down like that. Just a bunch of features being added with it. And eventually you'll get to a market where people are buying. And talking about things that you can put on to entice new buyers. You guys are looking for an AMD GPU for gaming. Yo, looks like AMD to bring back anti-lag, guys. Yo. So, in September, AMD shared a slew of updates regarding the hardware, specifically the Navi 32 GPU series, and several software improvements. The company unveiled its Fidelity FX Super Resolution FSR3 technology, HyperRX, and AMD Fluid Motion frames, and the updated anti-lag technology to an important feature to smooth gameplay. So, what GPU would you recommend for video editing? I don't know. You can go with the 3070, 3080, or you can go with like a 6800 XT, a 7800 XT. So, I mean, those would be your newer cards. You know, it's like AMD will be a pretty good workhorse over NVIDIA, in my opinion. NVIDIA's got it for being a high speed performance, where AMD is more of a workload, but they both do very well if you're doing pure GPU rendering on the video editing. Now, I run it through a Threadripper, and through my Threadripper, I can do 1440p video editing, and a half hour's worth of editing takes about, I don't know, give or take 5, maybe 6 whole long minutes. So, I mean, it just depends on how much you want to spend and how much time you're trying to save. I mean, like I said, I render my videos off of my Threadripper CPU, and a half hour takes at the most 6 minutes. I mean, hell, Even the GPU that's on the screen right now, that's a good one to utilize. But if you guys are looking for checking out, if you guys are like want to have a pure AMD rig with the anti-lag coming into play, might be some good performance that'll be near, not exactly, but near NVIDIA performance. What's in your main PC? Oh god, I have 64 gigabytes of G.Skill, Trident Z G.Skill RAM. Tight timings for the AMD side. I've got the Threadripper. It's quad channel RAM, so I have 8 sticks of RAM in here. It's sitting on the Asus ROG Strix X399E gaming board with a Asus TUF 3080 Ti, all with a custom EK water loop on there. So I've got a 360 rad radiator in the front. I've got a 280 rad radiator up on top. CPU and GPU are water blocked on the same loop. It's the Trident Z, Trident Z. God, I think it's like the 16 CL or something like that. It's like, that is sick. I know it is. I mean, everything all together. I mean, I've spent some coin on this PC. I do have video of doing the whole build on this, so including doing the water block. I've got the 1950X. As soon as the 2950X, the WX is of a reasonable price, I will get the 2950 WX, because I want that bad boy, but people want way too much. Which would you recommend for daily? Depends on what you do with your daily, I guess. If you are looking for an enthusiast grade like myself, like I've been scoping eBay for the 2950 WX combos. I mean, I would say go with the 2950 WX. That's me. But if I was going to be like, if my little brother came up to me, hey, I want to build another PC. What's a good PC for a daily that's going to give me all my performance and a great gaming PC that I could do a streaming off of, right? And I'd be like, get a Ryzen 9, you know, get a regular Ryzen series. They're just as good as the Threadrippers. Now, if you're doing rendering, video editing, using it as partially a workstation, definitely Threadripper. 1950X if you don't have the budget, 2950 WX if you do have the budget. I mean, that's basically how I would look at it. But if you're not really using it as a workstation, it's almost hard to adjust it, because like the Threadripper is not impressive for gaming. It works, but it's not impressive. Threadripper does have its unique issues. So it's hard to sit there and say, you know, as a daily, get a Threadripper. I've been dailying this Threadripper for 4 or 5 years now, and I do see a few limitations here and there, but whenever I'm not utilizing it, this thing mines Monero like a son of a, you know? It's like 8 Chrome windows, Discord, YouTube, 150-ish tabs, 3D print slicing, and playing Call of Duty at the same time. Well, I mean, realistically, at that point, you're really limited. Like for all your how can I put it? For all the tabs in your browser being open, you need a lot of RAM. So your bigger limitation is RAM. Slicing software, you know, I've got all, you know, it's like I've got Cura slicing software. I've got you know, I monitor my 3D printer with a Raspberry Pi. So I mean, like, I utilize it, and even then, I would almost think that a Ryzen 9 could handle that without an issue. It's like if you're trying to use your Cura slicing program, or if you're using Pursa slicer, you know, whichever your slicing slicer flavor is, and then you're doing video editing, audio editing, music editing, you know, stuff like that, then I'd be like, yeah, you need Threadripper all day long. You have a 10900K, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes SSD, and a dual 3080s. I have hiccups and lags throughout the day. That is because you are on Intel, my friend. Intel is good at single task performance. It can do one thing, heavy duty, really well. As soon as you start giving it too much to do, Intel does have its issues. Unless you get into their workstation style CPUs, right? AMD is geared for multitasking. So you don't necessarily have to get Threadripper for multitasking. Just getting on the AMD processor is where you're going to start seeing the benefits. Yeah. So I would think that for you, Chuck, just switching over onto the AMD platform would be beneficial. Ryzen 9, if you want to keep your budget down, you know, Ryzen 7 to Ryzen 9 for budget friendly. Or if you want to go balls to the wall, you know, you're going to spend it. I mean, my PC, as it stands right now, over the years, I mean, and I've added up all the money that I've spent on it. You ain't going to get the pricing, like what I've spent on it at those times. The price of everything is cheaper on my build right now, to a point. My water block, my water loop from EK, you are not going to get around for being anything under $1,500 on the custom water loop. Period. I built this thing. I know what goes into it. I know what I paid. It was like $1,500 for everything. Then you're going to be looking at, I mean, I'd be real. I spent $5,000 on this computer over the 4-ish years. $5,000 in this PC. So, I mean, granted, I know that I can build this PC right now, and I would probably be in it for $2,000 to $3,000. So I'm going to save myself like $2,000 on the current build. You know, or you can sit there and get into something newer and get the newer style RAM modules. Instead of using DDR4, you can get into DDR5 and get into the Ryzen 9. You'll have faster speeds, multitasking on Ryzen 9. You'll have all your benefits, all new modern stuff. Your hardware is further, you know, you are now future-proofed for at least 5 years on your CPU side. That would be my opinion on a path for upgrade. Man, all you over there passing around the pine tree, the devil's lettuce. Don't know what you're talking about over there. I'm a size whore. I don't do cheap. Honestly, my main PC is a beast, but that being said, I want zero lag. None! Threadripper, if you're gonna go balls to the wall, I go with 29WX. 2950WX, go balls to the wall. But you want to go future proofing for a while, I would sit there and Ryzen. If I was gonna build myself another daily, I would keep this PC and use it as my rendering machine. That's where all my hardcore multitasking stuff would be. And then I would be on a Ryzen 9 system all day long. Passing the NAM. Passing it back. So it just all depends on, you know, what you're all wanting to do. You know, it's like but I mean, I did do Threadrippers, so I mean, I really don't have much to talk. I got $5,000 in my computer, so yeah. Yeah, I would say Ryzen 9 over the second gen Threadripper. The only reason that I would upgrade to that I would upgrade to the 29W50 the 2950WX, to be honest, 100% transparent, I already have the motherboard. I'm already running it, so it's just upgrading a CPU. If I was building from scratch and I had a computer that was subpar for what my necessity was, I'd be rolling into Ryzen 9. The Ryzen 9s can do everything that my Threadripper can do. And I have, you know, you can get the Ryzen 9s with you know, 12 cores, 24 threads. So, I mean, and that's a lot of horsepower. No. Like, what would you need 128 gigabytes of RAM for? I don't know. I've got 64 gigabytes of VRAM, and I've never used more than 40%. But I have it. So I don't even think I can open up enough prawn on my computer to like impact my RAM either. I'm just saying. But we're almost at the end of at the end of the show. Let's talk about my thumbnail, guys. Yeah, guys, checketh this out. So, y'all know that I do GPU mining and ASIC mining, and I've done FPGA mining. It doesn't matter if it hashes. I want to hash on it, you know. And we all know about the mini Doge, right? We all know about this from Gold Shell. If you don't, this is just a little 185 mega hash dual miner for Litecoin and Dogecoin. It's not even that much. 233 watt max, plus or minus 5%. Power cable rating, it just needs to be 10 amps, right? Just 10 bloody amps. And if you're sitting there and you're looking at these amperage, 18 gauge wire can handle 15 amps for about 2 feet. 16 gauge wire at about almost 4 feet. 14 gauge wire, because it's thicker, at 6 feet. 20 gauge wire, 10 amps for 2 feet. This is less than 2 feet, guys. This here is less than 2 feet. Less. This is 18 gauge wire. 18 gauge. It says on here 18 AWG. So this thing, for less than 2 feet, should be able to handle 15 amps worth of power going through it at 12 volts. So basically this morning, now I know I push the limits sometimes and, you know, all that good stuff, but these wires, I'm not sure where I got them from. Not sure. They probably were from the facility. And the spec on these wires, I don't believe is true anymore. Especially dun 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 dun. You want to know what's funnier? This machine was still hashing with the melted wiring. And whenever you start looking at the copper gauges on this thing, let's see if I can get it to just focus. This wire looks more like 22 gauge. And at 22 gauge, at 1.5 feet, can only handle about 5 amps. And this thing, yeah, exactly, Sadie. This thing was hashing, which shows that I had it in a properly vented. I mean, the connector, see, that connector is still connected, and the whole base of it is just like oozed into it, man. There's no way that this connector is detaching itself at this point. Hey, it's finally focusing. Yeah, so this bad unit was hashing. Blue blinking lights. You can't make this up. So I went into the first I got 2 bathrooms. So my mini doges are in the back of the house in the back bathroom. Because the back bathroom likes to get cold. So I've got 2 of these mini doges back there. I was figuring 260 watts or 460 watt space heater back there. The back bathroom won't be cold. Excellent. It worked. Well, about a week ago, I started having issues with it where it just kept on turning off randomly. I figured at first it was maybe it might be signal because it's all wireless. So I'm sitting there with this thing all wirelessly, and it's in and out, and I'm fighting this thing. And I'm like, wow, man, I don't understand it. So this morning, I go to use the bathroom. My wife's youngest kid walks into the back bathroom. And then whenever he came out, he's like, hey, the back bathroom smells funny. Like plastic burning. He was smelling it. And the unit was still on hashing. I was like, wow, let's turn that bad boy off. So I took off the other wire off of it too. Because I'm like, if I can't trust this wire, why am I going to trust the same other wire to be plugged into my machine? These wires I've got from Parallel Miner. I'm not trying to shill Parallel Miner. I don't make anything by name dropping them. I've been using Parallel Miner for quite some time. They make a lot of cables and power supplies specifically for ASICs. So you want server grade stuff? Parallel Miner. I've never had to worry about it. And they sell 18 gauge wiring at about 2 feet. So 2 feet, handle 15 amps. So this is a true 15 amp cable. I now have them plugged into my my mini Doges. Mini Doges are both fine. No mini Doges were harmed in the making of this video. just a breakout board. And I'm like wondering if I can just desolder the pin out and the breakout board's still good. That would be interesting. I'm curious. No, I don't trust it. I just peeled back the little insulator and exposed some copper. That means that the internal layers are blistered, and I can see a blistering on there in between the pads. So, yeah, she pooched. She done. It's out of here. You're gone. So, yeah, this thing took some serious freaking heat. Melted back the wiring and just melted down the plug itself. I have not tried to... Oh! Well, the lock broke clean off just from me touching the lock. Oh, it's so crunchy. I'm trying to see if the connector will release in any way, shape, or form. Nope. I probably could have done it when it was still warm, but I let it cool down. So now it has become one with each other. They are now a custom wire that cannot be used. So I'll have to go back on the parallel, get some good equipment. None of this other garbage equipment that claims to be 16 gauge or 18 gauge when it's more likely like 22 gauge wiring in there. And I'm surprised it lasted this long. I don't make it a point to plug stuff in and like hold on to the wire as it's hashing. Oh, it's getting a little warm. No. But if I start seeing the cables turning, the yellow turning like a brownish yellow, like a banana does, then I'd be like, you know what? How warm is this? And I'll pull out a temperature probe and probe this thing and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was an interesting one this morning. Glad that the mini Doges are not hurt. So you guys can be rest assured that the hardware is okay. It's safe. It is 100% safe. Oh. Still sick. Still got a sore throat. Sinuses are draining down the back of my throat, causing me to cough, which is irritating my throat. Gave me an ear infection. Good stuff, right, people? Good stuff. Now they got me on amoxicillin to try to combat all of this. Yay. So I can take pills for the next 10 days. I just want my throat to stop hurting. I think that's the bigger one. And let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty... That was pretty wild with all of that stuff. Whenever I went into the bathroom, and how bad it stank in there. Oh, but thankfully nothing's hurt. Everything's good. Power supplies are fine. Nothing's hurt with those. Power supplies are quieter now. Not so much resistance in the wire. What up, John Jermaine? What's up? What's up? It's just the flu. So I mean, it happens. I haven't been sick sick like this in a long time. But I've also haven't been around a lot of people in a long time too. So with me being a mechanic and the public again being exposed to everybody that gets sick, and yeah. I guess my immune system needed to be tested. But every time you test your immune system, it gets stronger. You want to know the bigger joke behind it? Go watch George Carlin's It's on YouTube. George Carlin's Germs. He says it the best. But yeah, I haven't been to work in a few days because, like, I've been sick. So, yeah, all that good stuff, right, people? Oh, yeah. So does anybody have any comments or questions before I head up out of here too, guys? Any comments or questions at all? We are at that lovely 1 hour marker. Kitty wants some lovin's over here. I know, right? Nemesis for president. Like, F.A., you caught the connector before it got worse. I know. It could have dripped on the counter, and then the wife would have gotten mad at me. The wifey would have been really angry. That would not have been good. Oh, and Sadie's going, cats of crypto. Okay, cats of crypto. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. All that good stuff. Definitely drop that FA in the chat for Cats of Crypto. Yo. Because you guys are rated at full freaking awesome. Yo. Drop those FAs. Because you all rock. What up, Dakota Miner? Flop, 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 kitty, kitty. All right, so thank everybody for being here. All that good stuff. If you guys are new to the channel, certainly subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. For all you OGs, make sure the bell notification turned on. We know YouTube turns them off when they don't like your content. We all know that. And if you guys want to sit there and be part of the community, certainly check out the links down below. I have free links down there to join the Discord, guys. Be a part of the community if you're new here. If you've been here for a while and didn't know so, there is a Discord link down below. You guys are more than welcome to join. Love to have all you happy people over there, whether you are mining or not. Does not matter if you're into crypto, into cars, into gaming. We got you over there in the Discords. Great people that are always there, willing to help out with any of your PC-related questions, and all that good stuff. So, thank you everybody for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Yo. Just so much carnage. One last look of all the carnage. Wow.